Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Welcome to Inside the Logic. I'm your host with the most, not a ghost, Mindful G. And today is my first day back after about 3-month hiatus from my last three podcasts. And it came from me helping some family friends out and stuff like that. And, sometimes, you do things for others and it gets in the way of your normal life. So I'm not mad because you learn from every mistake you make. When it's not really a mistake, it's just, bad timing. I'll just leave it to bad timing. However, right now, I'm in a position of just, wanting to reassert myself, reassert things in my life that I've let go, things that I would assume we all go through at some point in time in our lives. But I know for myself, speaking for myself only, I stopped doing the things that I said I was going to do. And throughout my life, I've noticed, as I got older, that these are some pet peeves of mine that I have yet to conquer at 52. So I said that I was going to do this podcast when I first started way back in the summer, and that I was going to be consistent, and then I didn't. So there are many things that was in the way, but none of them really stopped me. Could have just stopped me from doing what I have to do because it's in my basement. So what do I have to complain about? What do I have to stop? So right now, I'm doing my self-reflecting, and I don't mind sharing it with anyone because, this is how it is. We all go through things, and we all have things that, we got to work on daily. But I'll stop ranting on about me, and I'll share more about me later. But the reason I wanted to do this podcast is because on Instagram over the last the last 3 or 4 days, there's a viral video of some young cats in DC. And when I say young, I'm talking like they look to be preteen, 12, maybe 13. Not sure. Just from looking at the height and the weight and the language, they don't seem to be very old. And I'm gonna pull something up for y'all so y'all can hear it. And these are, I don't know if everybody's usually on Instagram or Facebook or something of that nature, but just listen to these young kids, children. And, we not everyone has children, but those of us that do, we would hope that our kids are never the ones that's been taped saying something to this nature or anything that's not conducive of a good moral upbringing. So here we go.
Yeah. Oh, no, you robbery. Our robbery is what we're doing.
Hold on. So I stopped that there for a second. Could you all hear that? Just give me a yes in the chat so I can be sure all that's working, because I'm not sure all the time. Okay, so let me go back to it.
It's armed robbery and armed carjacking, dummy. It's the same thing. That's lower than murder. Both of them combined. That's lower than murder. That's higher than murder.
But no, you know what murder? That's a gunshot. Murder is a gunshot. Possession of a gun. Murder. first degree murder. That's like 8 charges in one case. You dumb as shit.
Bro, whoever's the driver, if I know they know how to drive, they gonna get away for 12. I'm bending with them. You hear me? If I feel like the nigga not gonna get away, I'm not hopping in with them. No doubt. You sound dumb. Just saying, bro. He sound dumb. You just said you rather take a human's life that you get life than robbing it. That you get 12, 10 years.
Bro, when you get hit, bro, you don't always.
All right, so you hear that? That's scary. That is definitely scary. It's like this is somebody's kids, somebody's sons, you know, and to if you my daughter, my youngest is going to be 23 in December, so she's still a part of that you know genre in a sense, but you know she wants to go out and be out in the street or driving her car, and these little kids talking about carjacking. I'm kind of like, wow. Like it's very hard, and in a lot of ways, you know, I'm trying to wrap myself around it, but that's why I like to hear what anyone else has to say about it, because things are this is just getting out of hand, and I'm thinking that, you know, us as caring people, I will hope everyone's a caring person, you know, want to talk about it and see, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, in this day and time, it takes a village to help change the narrative that these kids are doing. Like it comes to a point where we need to start paying more attention to the activities of our kids. We need to start paying attention to who they're hanging with. We need to know the parents, or we need to know as much as we can about who our kids are surrounding themselves with, because between home and wherever they go throughout the day, you don't know much of anything. All you do is send them on their way. Hopefully they're going to school. Hopefully they are being morally correct and not running around here talking about, you know, armed robbery, not even worrying about getting caught, just worrying about how much time that we might get if we do this or we do that. Like it's like I've said to a lot of my friends and family, it's, you know, these kids are, you know, I would say, and again, this is my opinion, I don't have any PhDs in anything but life. And for them, I believe it's, you know, these violent video games, you know, video games in itself, just things that are glorifying, you know, things that you cannot do in real life, but it seems that they are trying to do it in real life. And they're not caring about the consequences, because on these games, nobody gets locked up. And if they get locked up, you ain't locked up because it's a video game, but they're doing it in real life. And then, you know, you don't want your child to be learning things that you need to tell them at home, or a lot are telling them before, telling them at home, but they're not, you know, they're not paying a whole lot of attention. A lot of times it's not their fault. A lot of parents, you know, got to work, you know, so they don't have as much, you know, quality time with their kids because they're tired, or, you know, they make sure they eat and all that other, you know, responsibility. But when it comes to this, no one knows anything until something happens. That's how you get the mothers or fathers or family members on TV saying, oh, he's not like that, or she's not like that. She's so sweet. She would never do this or that. And, you know, yes, Lily, that exactly, you know, the music, you know, like I was watching Ladies First, the documentary. And as I watched that documentary, I kind of had to check myself because I was like, damn. I looked at the women the same way that they were portraying us men as looking at them or treating them. And I was like, wow, I thought I was a more correct man in the sense of how I was looking at them. And I was like, I was everything they said, like not giving them the same respect as I was giving the male rappers, and then not using or not also saying like, you wrong for showing your body, talking about your body, this, that, and use a black woman, you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, I wasn't looking at the men rapping about, putting the black woman down or putting any woman down, sexual, connotations and things like that. So it was like, I'm the pot calling the kettle black, and then it changed my way of how I thought. I used to be a big enemy of like WAP. Not to say I didn't like the song, but I said it kind of take the women back. But then when I look at it, I'm like what they said, I mean, it's your body. It's your art. If that's what you want to do, only person that's going to have to deal with the consequences later in life, or if money is worth, your respect in the sense of saying worldwide respect, not saying personal respect, but if you wear nothing, you can't expect a man to treat you like you were fully dressed and, not talking in a certain manner. Not that there is really a perfect way to do anything, but respect, one wants respect, they give respect, they show respect for themselves. Thus, they will get the respect. Well, one would think they would get that respect that they deserve because they're showing that they respect themselves, their body, their mind, and everything else. And the same goes for men. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and like say what a woman should do. A man should do the same thing. He should be a man. He should be what men are historically told to do. Be respectful of your women. Be respectful. Lead your women with respect and lead by example. How can you expect a woman to do what you say when you don't do what you say, or you don't live the way you say you're going to live? So, leading, if, I heard this earlier today, they said, are you a man that leads? And a man or a woman can't lead anything if they can't lead themselves. Confidence starts within. And if you don't have confidence within yourself, how can you exude confidence? How can the confidence be shown in your stature, in your conversation, in your ambition, if you're not believing in yourself? And I can speak on that personally. I've battled with things that, instead of doing things that I know I need to do, I've done what I would assume everyone has done at one point in time. It's like listening to the alter ego that we all have. The one that doesn't want you to do right. The one that doesn't want you to do the things that's going to make your life better. And, I learned that it's easier to listen to that alter ego because anything that's worth doing and doing right takes time, patience, and faith in yourself. And if you can't believe in yourself, I'm probably about to mess this up, but I know it says nothing beats a failure but a trier. So if you don't try, you won't know if you can make it or fail. But if you fail, you know you tried, and then you learn from that experience, and you keep on trying, and you fix whatever was wrong when you failed that first time or the second time. It's about never giving up. So, I also was a part of a group talk, and it was about the dating game today for every age group. It's really, yeah, exactly, Lily, exactly. You if you win all the time, then you don't know how to lose. And how the old folks say, failure builds character. Failure teaches you, how to overcome adversity. It teaches you. It's like an analogy I always say. It's like the Olympic athletes all are great because out of all the thousands and thousands of athletes around the world that run, swim, whatever they do to make it to the Olympics, which making it to the Olympics is like being the top 20 or 30 in the world at your sport, and you make it. And then you think about it, those that do that, and then they get to the Olympics and come in last. And then, if I was in their shoes, I'd say, well, dang, I couldn't have done nothing or had to do anything, and I could have came in last. But you had to be first to even get to the chance of being in the Olympics to be last. So it's like a double-edged sword, but it's like also you may not got a medal, but you made it to the Olympics. You made it to the pinnacle of your sport. You may not have won, but you made it there where many may never make it there. So, we were kind of like talking about like how men and women today and how the internet and how, social media and all these other different avenues have changed the way of relationships, meeting people, courting. I hear a lot of women say, chivalry is dead. And it's not. It's just not as prevalent as it used to be because the world lives trend to trend, and you would think, oh, it's only the young people. No, it's more older people that fall into these I don't know, genre cliques, whatever you want to call them. But it's like you go online as a man. I'm speaking for a man. You go online, you see a page or whatever, no matter what site you might be on. And then the woman says, oh, he has to be this, he has to be that, he has to be this, he has to have that, he has to make this kind of money, he has to do this, you say, wow. All right, I got maybe 7 out of your 10. And then they still won't because they want 10 out of 10. Now, of course, I'm not speaking on everyone. I'm just giving you a round number or just giving you an idea how it is. And of course, it goes both ways. Women, just because they're women, and if they have any type of nice look to them, they're going to get a whole lot of people trying to talk to them. They're going to get a whole lot of weirdness because I hear a lot of women, say they don't want to be on it because they don't get no real men. They just get a bunch of freaky men and then, that deters them. And then they get men that lie just to try to, lie or have ulterior motives to whatever they're doing. And it's really sad. My daughter says she's gonna join, but then yeah. Oh, I know. She wants me to stream, and I'm like, I'm practicing right now in a sense. She said, don't use Zoom. Well, I mean, I was using Zoom and I was gonna you know, stream on YouTube, but I gotta get my groove back, if you can understand that. Yeah, it's definitely a jungle out there. Leader, you ain't lied. It is definitely a jungle because it's like I myself, I ain't perfect. Who is? But it's like you want what you want, but at the same time, it's like um depending on how long you've been single, how long you've gotten to your own groove and like not having to worry about the things that you worry about when you have a significant other. It's not as easy all the time to you know to get out of your I guess to get out of your own way and allow someone else in. you know uh it's 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 very it's very crazy. It's definitely very crazy out here. um you know i've I've tried to be as open as I can, but at the same time, I'm sure women go through the same thing men go through. It's like you want to be open, but you don't want to be too open. You don't want to move too fast, but yet you don't want to move too slow. And nowadays, everything is it seems to be on a fast track. You know, um, it's it back if depending on your age group or whatever. Back in the day, I unfortunately grew up and we didn't have internet, so all that the young and my kids and all that, they grew up with internet, so they don't even understand that sometimes you had to go out, you had to be out, you had to go places. If you didn't meet your friend in school, you had to go out, you had to hang at the mall, movies, you had to go places where a lot of people were going to be if you was trying to meet somebody. And then you're meeting that person on your merit right then. They're going to get a vibe from you off the break. It's not this go back and forth online. People can be whoever they want to be online. They hide behind the anonymity of, whoever their persona is online, instead of just, being themselves. Because I've learned, and of course, everything I'm talking about is I've been through it. I've tried this way and that way, and learned through trial and error over the course of my life or my dating life. Is it's easier to be yourself than to try to be someone that you're not, because that's too much work. You should only want to be who you are, because then you never have to worry about am I on point or this. No, I can wake up and be Greg all day long and not have a problem with it. I don't have to be a certain way around these people or be a certain way around that woman, or, I can just be me. And if you don't like me, that's fine. Thank you for sharing. I know not to be in your area when we're in the same place, because I don't want to be around nobody that's going to make me uncomfortable, or I don't want to make them uncomfortable. Not that I care about what they think, but I care about my comfort. So, and that's the part that people nowadays, I think, don't deal with. Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to be liked. How many likes I get, how many followers I got, like that's going to make you a better person. That makes no sense at all to me. You want to be who you are and loved for who you are, liked for who you are, your personality, your character, your being, your vibes. You want people to be like, I like to go around that person because they make me feel good. And I mean friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. You want to be around like-minded people that feels the same way you feel. And and that builds, like they say, if you don't drink, why would you hang around people that drink? It's a known fact that association brings about assimilation. So if you're the only person out of 4 people or 4 friends that don't drink, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna take a drink one day. It's just the way things are. Rich people don't hang around poor people. Simple as that. Not that they look down on, a lot do, but not that they look down on poor people, but I want to be around people that's going to continuously motivate me to want to be better if finances is what I want to be better at. You can't learn that much financially from somebody that doesn't know how to manage their money. You want to be around people that can help you understand how to make more money or how to better manage the money that you have. How can you take relationship advice from somebody that's always single? It's like, it's being the armchair, it's being a passenger driver telling you how to drive, but they don't own a car. They don't drive all the time. They don't have a license, but they're going to tell me how to drive. So, I believe in life that you just have to, take the bumps in the road, because the road's going to be bumpy and the road's going to be smooth. If you learn from your mistakes, life should always get better. And I tell myself, and I tell my kids, and I tell anyone else that'll listen, that every day you get up, every day that the Lord blesses you with another day of life is another chance for you to do better than the day before. If you move a half an inch in your life or towards your goal, you progressed. It's going backwards that should be the only fear you have. And if you always think positive, and I mean, there's positivity in some negative things that might happen to you, because something might happen, but you got to look at what you can gain from it positively, and then work on that. Because if we never allow ourselves to be humble, accept, like we said, you said earlier, accept failure. And then instead of being upset about it, try to take the time to think about where you went wrong, why you made that decision. How can you better make a better decision when put in the same situation? So again, this is a everyday problem for everyone. Everybody say, oh, I want to be rich. If I had money, I wouldn't have to worry about nothing. You would have to worry about more. Yeah, like Biggie said, and more money, more problems. Yeah, because right now, wherever you are in your state of life, the people that come to you for whatever it is that you give them. And I don't always mean monetarily, and if you were to come into some money, hit the lotto, do all this, you're going to have way more friends than you ever thought you had. They're going to be coming out the woodwork. You're going to go from having people that loved you to hating you because you're not giving them more money than they think you should give them because you got a lot of money. So, it's really crazy how this world has evolved into this madness. Again, I have nothing against what I call the Rainbow Coalition, the LGBTQAI, whatever else it is, I don't know. But I have no problem with them. My oldest daughter, she's part of that community. So I don't have a problem with it. It's just, I'm old school. I just don't believe in it, I don't hate nobody for what you want to do with your life, because I don't have to deal with any of the things that whole community has to deal with on the daily. I do, and I will admit, I do get upset because, I'm a black man, and black women as well, black anyone of color in the US. We have lived, died, suffered, all this for hundreds of years to get where we at, and we still got a long way to go. And yet they can get together and get laws and stuff passed in record time, and we still out here getting killed, and the people getting away with it. So, and that's not to downplay their life or their belief or, their culture, but it's like, I feel it's not fair. They say it's not fair we treated us like that. It's not fair for us. For you to be able to gain, all the progress that they've gained in such a short time, and we still fighting for the stuff we should have had years ago. Just basic respect. Nevertheless, I'm going to move on before my podcast get banned, before I even get on top. Yeah, that's another thing why Lita, I was talking about the kids. It's like no one really cares until it happens to them, until it's their son or their daughter, or their son or daughter is victim of some other person's kids or whatever, and they doing all the right things, and it's like, why now you want to get mad when there's a problem, and you can't, we can't depend on others to fix our problem. We as a people, have to try to get together and come together. Maybe us coming together to help the youth before we lose a whole generation. Just come together on then, and if we can come together, then maybe we can come together even more to, help solve some of our collective plight in this world we live in this society we live in today. It's really I guess you say we can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And when you say it like that, or if the list is that long, it really gets depressing. You're just gonna, and this is where, like I said before with myself, when the list gets too long, or the weight gets too heavy to bear, sometimes you gotta talk to somebody, and we all know if you're black and you're older, you know that it's always been like taboo to be like, oh, I'm having problems, I'm gonna go pay somebody to listen to me talk. And it's like we ain't nothing wrong with you. You just need to chill out and stop thinking about this and that. And that's like the old timers telling us. But now, in this day and time, a lot of us, like, that's, my age, younger, you're 40, 50 or 60 or whatever. Now it's like, yeah, maybe I do need to go talk to somebody, because you've been running around with all this inner inner depression or inner or things that may have happened to you in life and you've been bottled up all this time, and it comes out here and there, and sometimes it may affect your life, sometimes it might ruin a friendship or a relationship, and you know what it is, but it's, you know, as Black men, I'll just speak for the men, it's like we have to always be strong. You show any little inkling of weakness, you know, women, I got to use our women. Black women will chop you down, you know, and it's like so it's like when I was coming up, you know, I fall or get, you know, have a accident on my bike and, you know, hurt, and you come to tears, and you go to your uncles or your dad or you know, the men that you respect, and they say, shut up, men don't cry, man, wipe your eyes, men don't cry. And this is pain you dealing with. This ain't like I'm crying over a woman or I'm crying over, you know, something trivial. You know, this is like I'm in pain and they telling you not. And then it's like, and of course I've saw this online. I've you know, I've witnessed a few friends over the years deal with. It's like you have to be careful how much you open up to someone that you with. I mean, and I mean that in a sense of like those things that your deep secrets about yourself, the things that, you know, may bother you, have always bothered you, and then, you know, you sell it to a woman thinking that, you know, y'all got this thing going and it's all good, and then she throw it back up in your face or tell her girlfriends or tell somebody, and then it comes out, and then, you know, you feel bad, you feel violated, you know. So it's like nobody wants to trust anybody anymore, you know, male, female. It's just like everybody's has this fear that everybody's out to get them. You know, women, oh, all he want is XYZ, and all she want is money, you know, all she want is whatever I can give her, you know, and it goes back and forth, you know. Everybody feels like, excuse me, they're gonna get used in one way, shape, or another. And that part is you know, again, the list just goes on. But it's like if you look at it, and I'm learning, and I've learned to look at things and be honest with myself first, you know, mean what you say, and say what you mean, and mean what you say. Live, you know, back your words up with actions and be consistent. Pay attention to detail, and don't take anything for granted. And that's how I've lived. And I can say I've had relationship in the recent last year or whatever, and I thought that everything was good, but then again, when you get red flags, but you say it ain't that bad, and you figure you could see how it's going to go, and then it doesn't change, but you still invested a lot of time. I say now it's like more so talk about it up front, and hopefully, you know, you get a better understanding. Sometimes it's best to say, okay, well, we talked, and I'm glad we did talk about it. So you know how I feel, I know how you feel. And on that point, we can just agree to disagree and move on, you know, but it don't always work that way. And thus, you know, I had to end that, and, you know, and I'm back on the block, as they say. I don't know. It you know, it is what it is. I'm kind of glad, Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It does. When one door closes, another one opens up. You just gotta keep your eyes up and keep looking straight ahead. And also I've learned, I don't compare the last one to the next one, or the last two relationships over years. I don't do that. It's about learning who you are dealing with now, and if you have something that makes you like have thoughts, you talk about it right then. You don't let it go. You talk about it right then. How they say, no one wants to have that awkward um conversation, especially early on in a friendship. But I think it's the best time to have it, because if you wait, it only gets worse, or it gets harder to bring it up, or find the right time to say it. So it's like, if it's something, for better or worse, I'm gonna say it. And you know sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. I'm never going to be disrespectful in my um in the way I speak on it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna just uh you know do things I've done in the past as while just letting it go and thinking it's going to change on its own. Like, if I don't see it, it's not there. So I mean, if I keep my eyes closed, it won't happen anymore because I won't see it. Yeah. So Jedi mind trick, that crap don't work. So I'm just out here trying to be, you know, honest, and again, no one's perfect, but anything worth having is worth working for, is worth putting time into, is worth learning whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and have a plan. You know, those that fail to plan, however that goes, fill in the blank. Look it up. I can never remember all those quotes, but if you don't have a plan, then you plan to fail. That's what it is. I gotta get that one on. Give myself one of those for the DJ. Um, but I'm going to continue to do my show, and I'm really going to start coming on every day for 30 minutes to whatever, and I'm going to talk about whatever it is to talk about. I do have a lot of things written down that I want to talk about and different things, but in order to get a following, you have to be consistent. In order to find that perfect person for your life, you have to be consistent. And you want to be a better you physically, mentally, you have to do the things and do them consistently to get where you want to be. And with that, let's see here. I'm going to
Get away, I'm hopping in with them.
wrap this up with these crazy young boys that's still out here.
What we're doing.
You hear that? You hear? He said, armed robbery is what we're doing. Unbelievable. It's just crazy. But Lily, I thank you for being the only one in my podcast today. But hopefully you'll come back, and I'll be better with my production. I'm still, like I said, I'm back. I've been messing around the last week or so, but I'm going to get all my technical issues fixed and be a little bit more structured. And I'm going to start putting my show list out so everybody can check it out. And I think I will be streaming on YouTube for the episodes further. And yeah. So I'll end it like I started. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank Lily for coming out. She just met me. I hope I talk to you more. I hope I see you more. And with that, I'm out the door.